Hello, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another 3D Hangouts. You got myself, Noe Pedro Ruiz. I'm a designer here at Adafruit, and join me, Pedro. I like your haircut, man.
Hey, thanks. What's up everybody? I'm Pedro Ruiz, Creative Tech here at Adafruit, and every week we come to share 3D printed projects featuring electronics from Adafruit.
The show where we combine 3D printing, DIY electronics, we smash them together, and make some inspirational projects. Let's jump right into the show, right?
That's right. This week's coupon code for 10% off in the Adafruit store is barn doors.
Barn doors. That is this week's project. We made, not the barn doors you're thinking of. Barn doors in the industry of video production is a pretty useful fixture that you put over some lights. It lets you control light. Now I know this has like a built-in brightness control, and you're like, well, you can just adjust the brightness. This is something where you can have total control of a light. We got the quickest demo, I guess, to show you guys is this right over here. So let's say we don't have this on. This is what you get. Let's say you want to light up my hand, but you don't want to get this overexposed area. You can control that with just this simple little
You're pretty much just
cover,
blocking,
reflector. Shaping
the light. In the industry, they use like flags to sort of block the light, but
Yeah.
if you have a panel that can quickly shape and mold your light, it's definitely something that's super handy. And we use these a lot in doing a lot of the project videos, doing a lot of the time lapses, and super handy. Nobody makes these for the LED panel, so we thought we'd 3D print our own.
That's right. This is the LuxPad 22s that we have in the Adafruit shop. These are really awesome. Again, you can control the brightness, but you can also control the color temperature.
Color temperature, yeah.
It goes from 32K to 56K.
Yeah. And if you guys remember, we did the 3D printed adapter. These take the Sony batteries. We have a bunch of Canon cameras around here, so we just take the LP6 batteries and adapted those to these. So pretty cool.
Yeah, really good use of 3D printing. You know, you can't sort of find, like you said, barn doors for this particular model of LED panels, and make your own.
Yeah, so of course the Fusion 360 files are available to download. If we take a look here, using some rivets to make sure that everything is nice and stable, not warped, and we're using these diagonal bars on there to hold
like little corner
little corner
covers.
Parts there. So these just slide on, slide off for easy transportation.
That is cool. I like it when you take it off easily.
Yeah, so for the hinges, we're using the from our library of parts, the same little hinges that we used on the little Raspberry Pi libretto project that we did a couple months ago. So we've been transferring still the 123D files over into Fusion 360.
Oh, you made this in 123D? Ha.
I know, so long ago. So we're using the number 6 32 1-inch screws, Phillips screws, with the nuts that come with those. So these have little nuts inside there, so you can just stick those in there and it holds all those guys in place. So if we want to take a look at the Fusion 360 file, we'll take a tour of what the CAD model looks for that.
These are removable hinges. I like what you did here is that they're already attached to the frame.
Yeah, if we take a look at the CAD file, we can take a peek at a closer look at the way these are designed.
Okie dokie, that's this week's L'Herbe Lair. Let's take a look here.
Okay, so we jump into the Fusion 360 file, which of course is available to download.
All right, let's play it back.
You can modify the design if you have a different set of LED panels. Of course, we're using dimensional sketch dimensions for this. You can adjust the size. If you take a look here, I didn't know how to do the wings or the ribs.
Yeah, it's a ribs feature to do this. But you could just, you know, it's a lot easier to just sort of draw your own out so you can modify them there.
Exactly, yeah. So all the pieces there that I use are all available there. And if we zoom into here, you can see the little slot for that. So the way you want to insert these in is sort of diagonally, so they can just slip right in there and they're held in place once you put the screws through there.
Do you need any support material for that specific spot?
Actually, the way that they're cut up, you don't. So the only place that needs support is the little diagonal brackets that hold the
corners,
the frame to the corner there. So we're using Freeform modeling tool to make nice little smooth.
It's cool. So you can just pull some faces here and there and get this sort of really nice organic curvature.
Exactly. So you can go in there in the timeline and adjust that if you, for whatever reason, need to make them a little bit thicker, which I had to do actually before we started filming. So sort of weird how it takes a while of using it for a while before you notice.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's just using mirroring to update all of those. So once you update one, everything will carry over. Nice. So no worries on that. If you need 4 of them, you can do that. And like we were saying before, you do have the ability to switch the size of this. So if it's the tolerance for your printer is a little bit different, you can update that. But when it does, you might run into a little bit of problems when it updates the design, but no biggie. You can just go in there.
Fair enough. All the stuff is there.
All of the hinges, the pieces for the hinges, and just nudge that over a little bit to update that. Yeah. And that's pretty much it. Nice, simple little design. Super easy to make. Takes about 4 hours to print.
Yeah, these are pretty big stuff. Normally you'd use something like laser cutting, but you know, since you have these built-in hinges and things, it's definitely good for 3D printing.
Yeah, and again, the only parts you need support material for are the diagonal bracket bars on there. And I edited the support material inside of Simplified 3D. I knocked the pillars for the support material down to 2 millimeters, so that's not that big. You definitely don't add any support materials inside the slots or
if it's just too hard to clean it up.
Exactly.
It might affect the tolerance.
It'll definitely affect the tolerance, yeah. So we have some fillets that are on the edges there. Don't add any support materials to that either. So pretty cool. For any maker who's documenting their project, you know that lighting is an essential part of filming.
It sure is.
So definitely check that out. You can get these in the store. When we get them back in stock, they're quite popular, so should be out of stock right now, but we have pretty big backlog of people who signed up for the Notify Me mailing list. Once these get back up, make sure to sign up. I think we have 2 more batches coming in, but I think there have already been
I see. They're like reserved or something.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Definitely sign up, get 10% off with discount code BARNDOORS.
That's right. Let's go run through some of the free deals that we have that's going on this week, guys. If you go to adafruit.com/free, you'll get all the details there. If you spend $200 or more, you'll get free shipping. So that means if you buy a printer or just a bunch of components, you're going to get free shipping on that. For the US only. All the details are there.
And if you're in the NYC area, certain zip codes, you can get same-day delivery.
Via drone. It feels like a drone because it's like the same day.
Yeah. If you order before 12, you will get it by 5 o'clock.
Yeah, Eastern time, guys. Eastern time.
Yes.
Okay. We also got Programming Noe, Adafruit Daily. We got a lot of, if you want some tips in your inbox, sign up for the newsletters. Not just 3D printing, but biohacking, DIY electronics, wearables, maker business.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody for signing up. Looks like we have a 10% increase in signups. So very cool.
It's awesome to see.
Make sure we have a lot of really cool tips coming up.
You got it. All right. Well, we're going to jump into Shop Talk this week. This week we're shopping talking.
So
let's take a look at.
So last week we were talking about the Dronie Awards.
Yeah.
Hyping that up. Last year we released a video on.
So what's this Dronie contest? Let me go over that real quick. So go to adafruit.com/dronies, DRONIES. You're going to get all the information for this contest. This is a contest. We have a real panel of judges. Awesome, lovely ladies. And here's again the first prize. Okay, first, second, and third. First prize is $100 plus the 3D printed trophy. $75 for second place and $50 for third place. The rules, we finally have a deadline, June 6th. Get your submission in by June 6th. 5 minutes is the limit. We want to keep it under 5 minutes. This is limited to only the folks in the United States. Sorry for the folks outside. There must be at least one shot of drone footage, but really easy to submit your entry. It's a Google form. Submit your name, your location, a link to the video, preferably, YouTube or Vimeo.
Of course, you can nominate people as well.
That's right, and your email address. And that's pretty much how to enter. Because we started this in 2015, I had to update the drone, the trophy. It says 2015 on it. So that's what I've been doing over the weekend is like just updating that and printing out new pieces. So let's take a look at the first version of the drone trophy that we did. So this is copper fill PLA PHA from the fine folks over at Color Fab. If you haven't already, check out our Dronie trophy video that's in the Adafruit playlist. How we designed it with Bruce Yan. Designed it in Tinkercad, 123D Design. And we also have a video that shows you how we do polishing techniques using a rotary tumbler, but there's a big difference here this time. This is the medium, really is the main difference. We're using brass screws, new brass screws, as opposed to just like these old recycled steel screws, which is this one. You can see there's a huge difference. When you use new screws, you get a very, very nice finishing. We didn't do any finishing other than letting it tumble for several hours in the rotary rock tumbler. These are both tumbled, but again, different medium. So this was done with some steel screws that aren't as shiny and aren't as like new. And this is the newest print. This was actually printed on the PrinterBot Play, again using ColorFab's copper fill PLA PHA, which has I think like 20% copper particles. It's actually really heavy stuff. This thing's like 200 grams.
This definitely feels like a trophy.
It feels like a solid bar of copper metal. And
it smells like metal too.
Yeah, it smells like metal, feels like metal. Put it up a little bit closer to get a little bit, look at that shine, it's incredible. There's a lot of techniques you can do with like steel wool and certain polishing compounds. This is not done with any of that. This is like the quickest way to get a really high quality sheen on your copper fill print.
Yeah, it takes a lot of elbow grease to actually achieve this sort of shine by hand. Yeah. So this is definitely the easiest way. Yeah. It gets into all the nook and crannies, and you just sort of set it and forget it. And when you wake up in the morning next day, you get like what looks like a bar of gold.
In our bar gold. In our how to polish copper fill parts video and learning guide, we show you some pretty good differences between steel and brass. Mm-hmm. So definitely new brass screws. And that's just a little bit. I'm still tumbling some parts. We're tumbling individually for best results. Yeah. And this is awesome. So, by the way, 2016, since it's right there. Yeah. So that's just a little promo for the Dronie Awards. How about the actual drones?
Yeah, so if you guys are feeling a little bit discouraged, with the FAA rules have been set into effect, we have been in a search for, there is a little bit of a loophole there in terms of the weight limit. It has to be 250 grams.
The drone itself.
The drone itself before it has to be registered. So I've been looking around for drones that are smaller and are able to carry a GoPro Session or even a GoPro Hero 3 Plus or Black. Yeah. And very excellent YouTube channel that we always watch, Quadcopters 101, who reviews. This guy reviews like every single new quadcopter that comes out. Yeah. So definitely check that out. And recently he reviewed the Tarantula Spider 1505C. This is what he calls, I forget the name of it, but it's like between like a full-size one and a mini drone. Look how tiny it is.
This thing can carry a session?
This thing can carry a session. There are videos if you search on YouTube with people just strapping.
No way. Look at that battery.
So we actually sell these batteries. I think this comes with a 300 milliamp hour battery. We have the 350, so we'll be able to have a longer life on there. There's two versions, one that comes with a camera, one without. And the price for this, $18 for this little guy here. And if you take a look at the review here, it's I think like the 5th video, so this is pretty new. That's came out. Okay. And it's pretty good. It has very cool features like one key return, and it has a headless mode, so you're able to control it. The left and right it'll be left and right regardless of which way it's rotated, so it's very handy if you're flying around. And I'm sure you'll be able to hook up like an FPV or something like that, but it does have the ability to carry a Session or a GoPro Hero. And the version without a camera is definitely the one you want to get, since you're going to just add a GoPro to get maximum quality out of this. So anybody who's been discouraged, definitely going to be doing projects with that. If you guys remember before, we have made a mount for the SEMA, what is it, the X8C, which was like
it's a clone from the DJI Phantom, I believe.
Yeah. So this one would definitely have to be registered.
Yeah,
so
it's pretty big.
Yeah, it's pretty big, it's pretty heavy, and super happy that we're able to find something that you don't have to register. It's 50 grams before you put the camera on there. And if you search YouTube, there have been a lot of successful flights with GoPros on there.
It's awesome.
So, yep, we're going to definitely, there is a spot to mount the camera on there. So if you've seen on our Thingiverse page, we have uploaded a little GoPro mount for the SEMA.
Quite a few people have downloaded it and printed it out.
Yeah, so that's probably what the episode's going to be about, doing the 3D printing mount for that. Of course, it's going to be different. We're going to obviously make a little drone episode.
Oh, like a promo? Okay, cool.
Yeah, so we'll be, on the electric skateboard, getting some cool shots with that. So
can I win the trophy at the end? Like, Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm on the hoverboard.
Eventually, we'll probably release the files too. So of course, for educational STEM purposes, I'm sure.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
There's 3D printing and drones definitely
Totally.
go hand in hand.
Okay.
So.
Well, again, adafruit.com/dronies. We'll keep promoting it until June. You got plenty of time to get your.
Be on the lookout for the episode. I think our little tarantula comes in sometime this week.
All right. Let's move on. Can you move these guys? I want to talk about a quick tip. Pi Girl.
The noise click on the Pi Girl.
Yeah, so you guys, I know, this is noisy, man. These buttons are noisy. Check it out. They're noisy buttons. Everybody knows they're noisy. But what I figured out is that here's the gamepad, right? But when you click on it with your meaty fingers, it's not as loud.
Yeah, so your skin definitely acts as a dampener.
Yeah. So how do we do that? Well, I actually already solved this problem. This is the DIY Bluetooth gamepad that I made a couple years or months ago.
Not as loud.
Not as loud. Why is that? Well, the reason is it's a simple design change. So the buttons on these guys are flat. They don't have any divots. They don't have any indents in them. They're kind of like this. It's just flat, right? So when you make a cavity for your button, you actually can hug the actuator on the button. So that's what this one has, and that's what this has here. So that's why this one's not as loud, because all that surface area is pretty much dampening the sound. So that's a really quick, simple solution to a otherwise noisy problem. So let's hear again. Very noisy. I could update this like tomorrow, but I don't have time. But no, it's cool that I forgot about that. It's probably what I should have done. Now, of course, you have a lot of overhang there. You can see I even clean it up. I didn't end up cleaning it up for this guy, but
it probably helps since it increases the dampening power of that.
Right, but it could also negatively affect it, where it's like
it pushes.
You know what I mean? It pushes it up a little bit too much. So you really have to play with it. So that's what that's probably one cool way to really alleviate the noise. I don't know. I just thought it was a cool, interesting little tidbit. And I realized this like not too long ago. I was like, hey, I'm still looking for buttons that are using rubber.
Elastomers, yeah, but this is definitely the
easiest way to do it.
Better way to go.
Yeah, because they're cheaper buttons anyway. So, okay, that's the tip I have for reducing noise on your loud buttons.
Of course, people asking, yes, the PCBs and the kits should be back in stock. We are waiting on power boosts, batteries, PCBs, amplifiers. I mean,
everything's out of stock. We're sorry.
What we have to say over and over again is, it's better to back products that we can't keep in stock than products that we can't sell. So
email notification, I hear, is a good thing
is
to
the
do.
best way, and also check on all the social channels. We usually tweet out when new products go back in stock, but you gotta act quick because they go fast.
Yeah, and don't forget barn doors.
Barn doors get 10% off. Expires at 11:59 p.m. tonight. Does not work on gift certificates or software.
Okay.
Continuing on with Shop Talk.
Yeah.
This week's Time-Lapse Tuesday.
Oh, you want to do that first?
Oh, you wanted to take a look at
No, we should do time-lapse. It's in order. Yeah, let's take a look at the time-lapse. So
no,
time-lapse Tuesday.
Yes, no, you had some questions over how are we getting good prints on this M3D? A lot of people, not a lot of people, but some people have not been having good success.
People are dying to know, Pedro. How do you do this?
You can definitely update the M3D FIO. A new version has come out since last time we mentioned it.
Okay.
I forget the version number, but definitely check that out. He is working on a custom firmware as well. And you can always get our profiles on GitHub as well. And on this time-lapse particularly, you can see the settings that I used. Physically, though, I did have some extrusion problems. And
if you notice in the time-lapse, Pedro has the cover for the extruder open. Mm-hmm. Is there what's the story behind that? Yeah,
so I was getting some heat creep due to the silicone cap being up a little bit too high. And in general with long prints, I have, it was Zach Blog who actually mentioned this. He just removes the cover to keep airflow and heat creep at bay, so the heat doesn't travel all the way up the tube into the filament, softens it up so much to where it's, the filament isn't solid to where the little gears can't get a hold of it and extrude it outwards.
Okay, let's take a closer look. We showed a little bit of this last week where you...
About 2 weeks ago when we were talking about the nozzle swap on the M3D, and you can see here the correct height that you want to get this little silicone rubber that has the heater attached to it.
So you can adjust that?
You can adjust that out. Yeah, you can move it a little bit higher, a little bit lower, and right at this level here that you can see is where you want to have it at. So it's not too high, not too low, and that'll give it a pretty good optimal range to heat up the nozzle as it's extruding. So that's my tip for that. And with M3D Fire, you do have the ability to attach a fan to that. It gives you the option to hook it up to the GPIO on the Raspberry Pi.
Oh, that's awesome.
So you can turn that on and off. It gives you control over that. So if you do want to have, people have made custom mounts for that. On Thingiverse, if you just search for that, so you can attach a little 40mm fan to that and add extra cooling for those long prints. So definitely check that out. Get the new version.
So the new nozzle, because we swapped it out, right? It's been wearing it in, working nicely?
It's been working pretty good, yeah.
Okay.
And that was my problem with that, is I didn't install the little silicone heater cap in at the right height.
Okay.
So I might want to check that.
Guys, if you want a video on some more thorough examination of some tidbits on this, let us know. We'll put together a video. I think that'll be a nice one.
Yep.
Cool. All right, so that's just a quick tip on how to get better prints on your M3D. Okay.
Right. Next up on Shop Talk, we're going to be taking a look at the future of slicing software using Spark from Autodesk.
Yeah, let's check this out, guys.
So they announced the Spark platform about a year or two ago.
Yeah.
And they haven't done too much promotion on this, which is quite a shame.
It's a beta. Maybe they're focusing on something. But yeah, so check this out. If you go to spark.autodesk.com/developers/showcase, I'll have the link below. You got to make sure that you're signed in. It's a free account. Autodesk.
Use your 123D design account.
Or Tinkercad or Fusion. They're all synced up now, so that's really good. But check this out. This is showcasing their own curated apps that they've developed using their platform. And these are all little fun experiments. So check this out. This one, there's quite a few of them, but we're going to go through just a few of them here. Mesh image. This lets you basically create
3D meshes from 2D files.
Okay.
You have the ability with Lattice Infill to create some really elaborate infills that no other slicer is able to do. And the cool thing about this is that you're able to do it visually. They have a ton of different presets.
And it's fast.
And it's pretty fast for being
web-based.
HTML5 website, yeah. You have a G-code visualizer. So you have like a lot of slides. You're able to adjust the, just visualizing your G-code. And they even have a G-code editor, which I have not seen. They have syntax highlighting on there. They have mesh cut, which we're going to take a look at.
Yeah, and this is a really fun one, mesh wireframe.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at one that you played with here. We've got a little video that we'll just make sure that cues up there.
Yeah, so first we'll take a look at the mesh wire, which is pretty cool. Let's see, is the video playing on this?
Is it? Probably not. Let me rewind it. Yep.
There you go.
All right, cool.
Yeah, so we launched this up. You can see immediately just how fast it is. I like the navigation that we're able to do on that. It's just the right click to zoom in and out, and the left button to just move in. And you can immediately see the interactivity of this.
Wow.
This is just one application that does one thing very well, and it's being able to transform your meshes into a wireframe.
Yeah, it reminds me of using Mesh Mixer. But this is like way streamlined. You don't have to do a lot of different things.
Yeah, so you can drag in your custom solids, and you can see just how fast this is.
This is Nefertiti.
Nefertiti, yeah. So instead of doing inside of Mesh Mixer, which could be a little bit bogged down, probably has some legacy code
More
in
steps.
there. Yeah. This is super quick. You're able to quickly adjust your wireframe thickness, the smoothness of it. So if you wanted to print this like on a SLA printer, you can get like a beautiful mesh outline. I'm actually printing one of these on the Ember printer right now, so we'll take a look at that next week. Yeah.
Okay.
So definitely cool way to very fast get a pretty good output of wire mesh. And again, of course, this is examples for code that you're able to modify and build on top of. Another cool thing is this Lattice Infill. So a lot of the slicing software out there always uses, the same, rectilinear or,
Honeycomb.
even honeycomb, or even like weird ones like CAD or like zigzag.
Yeah.
This is, pretty much focused on maintaining, strength inside of an object. If it, you don't need to be completely solid, and you have a ton of different presets in here for doing the infill, different infills for this, and you can interactively see and adjust those. So
You're gonna put the Nefertiti in here?
definitely, yeah.
What?
You can see the Nefertiti there, and
That's
you can
cool.
see if you wanted to print a solid one, but retain, a different type of infill to, maintain rigidity in there.
So you get a couple options. The model dimensions. So you made this small specifically for the Ember printer.
Mm-hmm.
Shell thickness, that's definitely handy. Shell accuracy.
Yeah, that's how thick it goes for the inside.
Okay.
So how thick the infill for that is.
Strut thickness. You got rotation, infill rotation. A lot of different little options here, which is pretty cool.
The neat thing about this is instead of taking the same old mindset of what a lot of the slicers are doing right now, it interactively updates in real time, so you can see what you're actually
You have
changing.
to always rebuild your slice, your toolpath.
You always have to rebuild
This
your
is
toolpath.
live in real
Here
time.
you have a lot of options if you wanted to build like an escape hole for like printing a nylon powder or something like that.
Escape.
And you can, of course, adjust your opacity. You can even export just the infill structure or a hollowed out shell. So
Awesome.
a lot of great options here. And I definitely want to test out some of these as well on the Ember printer.
Yeah, I like this because, when you do the Voronoi sort of technique and mesh mixer, you're only doing the surface.
Mm-hmm.
This is doing all that infill, so this is really cool.
Yeah.
So again, Lattice Infill, one of many, or one of a few, I guess, a dozen, handful,
Yeah.
different ones.
And the whole goal behind this is so you can, sort of think outside the box. A lot of the slicing software is doing the same thing over and over again. Nothing visual, nothing,
Here's a
sort of
cool one.
revolutionary like
This is a cool one. So this one's called Mesh Cut, and what do you think it does? It basically lets you cut meshes. So I have segments here, 4. I'm going to turn up the explosion amount, and this just gives you a visual of like, how you can cut something. So a lot of the times, like people are like saying, hey, how do you cut something? You have to kind of
right now inside of a mesh mixer,
yeah,
you
you
have
gotta
to set
spend
up your plane. You can't
Sure.
really accurately.
So look how many,
measure.
I can make as many cuts as are here, and it's all updating real time. So I can do as many as I want or as little as I want. You can change the planer, which is the segment type. And then you can look at the grid. This like lays it out for you in a grid pattern. So this is more of what you would see as you print it. I'm gonna go back to 3D because this gives you a good visual. And it's just like exploding the little duck. Wow, that's pretty cool.
And you can right away see why you would want
Angle.
something like mesh cut. If you don't want to deal with overhangs or support material, the next best thing is to cut it up so you don't have to have any of those overhangs. You can just have those completely laying down on its side, and it's a very popular way to cut up pieces.
This is pretty neat. I can play with this all day. So
Again, visual, the UX design for this is definitely doing something that nobody else is doing in terms of being able to visualize how your slicing and your prints would turn out.
I'm just having fun cutting up a duck.
I know, it's so cool to set up a completely different way to like to hide the seams. This is excellent for doing that.
Yeah, let me reset everything. So this is like, I'm assuming this is HTML5. It's not like Flash or anything like that.
Yeah, so they're using a ton of servers in the back end, the, quote unquote the cloud,
Yeah.
to accomplish all the computational power that you would need
This
to
is
do
great.
all this. So very
Is it
very
offset?
slick. Yeah, you can right here see in the future what the slicing software is going to be. Autodesk already sort of owns the whole market and all the mesh 3D animation, solid modeling, engineering software. They're coming, I think, for all of the.
They're coming for your
slicing.
slicers. They're coming for your slicer.
So
No, but this is great. Again, this is an open platform, so developers can come in here and take advantage
take a look
of
at the
it.
code, look
Yeah.
under the hood, maybe develop some applications for your next
Can I kill it?
application.
Oh
Yeah,
my god, I made just 14 segments of the duck. That's crazy.
That's
All right,
pretty
folks.
cool.
So I think that's where we're gonna.
And this
leave it
actually
there.
has some implications, like what you just did there. You could use that for like thick
like
cardboard, yeah, like 123D Make. You know, we're able to make things out of cardboard.
Yeah, that's right, and just do it in succession. So this doesn't have to be 3D printing.
Yeah.
A lot of cool stuff going on here, folks. So definitely check it out. Again, it's a beta. It's at Autodesk. No, Spark.
It's spark.autodesk.com/developer/showcase, I think is.
Yeah. I'll show you the, the link will be down below. But yeah, there's a lot of other ones. Definitely play with them, folks.
Yeah, definitely check out the G-code editor. I mean,
sure.
There were some comments before. Someone was asking how to export a G-code as STL. Maybe you could do that with that.
Maybe.
Pretty cool if you could.
Yeah, I think it's great. All right, well, that's just a quick little fun experimental lab stuff. Autodesk Labs or something. Kind of cool. So that's, I think, it for the Shop Talk segment.
Pretty cool. Yeah, next up, let's take a look at this week's Community Makes.
Oh, Community Makes. There's some cool stuff, guys. So this week we're just gonna highlight some stuff that's outside of like Thingiverse and stuff. So that's cool. So let's take a look here. So folks, Real 2016 conference is going on. I think it's held by Autodesk. Autodesk is one of the key players there. And they've been streaming on Periscope, live streaming all the talks and stuff. So I've been watching. One that I got to find was a really interesting project. A lot of them are like, here's what we did. This one's like, here's what we did. Here's the file. Go ahead and download it now. This is a open source 3D printed violin. This is from the Hoovas. So Matt Hoova and Caitlin Hoova. Caitlin was the speaker, and she's a very talented violinist. I think she's been violining since she was a little girl. And they made this sort of as a little side project that they've been working on for a little bit. So what they did was they reverse engineered how a violin actually works. They're really talented at like playing the violin, or she is. And she collaborated with her husband to design one and figure out how to make it for the modern sort of 3D printing. So you can modify the CAD file. They designed it in Autodesk Fusion 360. Here it is here. I can take a look at the cross section of it. So I can see here it's hollow, and it's a pretty standard looking violin, but it's optimized in pieces for 3D printing. So you can print it without any supports, and it sounds fantastic. I mean, she's just a phenomenal violinist, but it's cool that you can print this out. I think RJ Make is going to print one for his daughter because she plays violin too, so that's going to be awesome. But the cool thing about this is they didn't just throw up the files and say good luck. No.
This is the most thorough build instructional site we've ever seen.
Yeah. Caitlin's a web designer too, web developer, so she designed all this. So they recommend obviously like some printers that they've used, the Ultimaker, the Rep 2.
They're working actually on some pre-sliced files, so they're focusing on STEM and education. So teaching kids with actually building things is definitely the way to get the next generation of kids interested in this stuff.
Yeah, not just how to play it, but how it works and how to build it.
Exactly.
So the whole craftsmanship is like full circle into this. So here's the full list, the shopping list, right? All the things you can buy. You can actually buy this as a kit if you want, but if you have a 3D printer, obviously you can 3D print it. New to 3D printing, they talk about first layer problems, all the things that comes with that.
On this,
Really what kind of sandpaper you want to use. Here, I like how they graphically split this up.
Break down every part.
So clean. So the neck, the top, the middle, and the bottom. It's like 4 pieces. It's optimized.
Yeah.
50% infill,
all the settings
0.3 layer height. Some GIFs to go
techniques,
with. Tuning the pegs, how to properly install them.
Very nice little GIFs on
carbon fibers, carbon fiber rods to ensure
hold everything together.
Yeah. There's the strings, and there's a video of her playing it. And it just sounds phenomenal. I mean, it is really cool. So check it out. I already downloaded the STLs, and I kind of want to print one.
Oh yeah,
that'd be really cool. I just got to get the rods and stuff.
Again, this is the perfect example.
That's how to release an open source project, man. Like, pretty dope. There she is playing it.
Definitely check that out. Subscribe to this.
I'm a fan.
Very excellent project here.
Shout out to you folks.
Prime example of making 3D printed projects.
Yeah.
This
open source
is the pinnacle of.
There it is. There it is. Go ahead, download it. The good stuff. All right. Well, next up, huge congratulations to Rasmus. His Raspberry Pi Game Boy Nano was featured on Thingiverse this morning, or probably yesterday. Yeah, this is awesome. So
this
he
is
created.
Excellent build. Yeah, look how teeny tiny this little guy is.
He's made so many. He's made quite a few, I think. Raspberry Pi Game Boy type projects. This one is by far one of the smallest ones, but that doesn't mean it's awesome. So here it is compared. I think here's a quarter, very tiny, very
compared
small.
Compared to the original Game Boy there.
The Game Boy Advanced SP. He put together a YouTube video, so check out his YouTube video. It's like I think like a 10 to 20 minute video on just playing it, showing you thoroughly how it performs really, and it performs really, really well. So just real quick on some of the parts, it is using the Raspberry Pi Zero. It is using a 1.5 LED from Adafruit. He wrote a little custom configuration for the FPC to work with it, which is awesome. But it doesn't have audio, but you can play the audio through HDMI, or playing it through a full-size TV. So it's pretty awesome. Let's take a look at some of the parts here. He is also selling a fully assembled version for $190. In the end of the video, he prices out exactly how much everything costs, which is around like, I think $170, $180. And not everybody, but some folks think that because the Raspberry Pi is $5, they're gonna be able to get this thing like under $50 or so.
There's no way, yeah.
No, man, these things are pretty, like once you get everything together, the battery, the SD card, the buttons, the screen, the price goes up pretty big. So
yeah. Even if you try to order from like Alibaba or something, you're still paying.
Oh, knockoff parts and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, they might not be as good, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
And you're probably not going to have a library that don't even work with it, so there's always there's
a little risk there involved. So he's got some videos of the assembly here. Here's his little custom sort of PCB for the gamepad using the smaller buttons. He's using a
little nub that they used to use in the keyboards for laptops. So
yeah, I think it's pretty straightforward.
Very cool way.
Yeah, so here's all the wiring and stuff. Very, very compact. Some folks might think you can make it thinner, but I think it's good to have it as thick as it needs to be, because you need to be able to service the thing. Mm-hmm. So it's a nice little box. So I think it's awesome. I like the different bits.
Excellent design.
Yeah, the different bits. Like a super slim switch. Like I don't think we sell those switches. And it's very, very awesome design overall. So shout out to Rasmus. Check him out on, of course, Thingiverse, and check out his YouTube video. Drop him a like. And if you're interested in, go ahead and check it. See if you want to buy one. This is really awesome. All the stuff there, and so many folks are downloading it. That's great because it's featured. Good work. Congratulations,
Excellent
sir.
job.
All right. Next up, remember the Voronoi Squirtle that we made, that we remixed from Flowlastic? This gentleman here, Sir Indy, on Thingiverse, did all of them. He got inspired by the tutorial that we did, and just did them all. Did the Pokemon, did Bulbasaur, not Pokemon, Pikachu.
Yeah.
I choose you. So he printed them all out, and it looks pretty good, even though we printed it in the DLP Ember printer. It looks pretty good on
it looks
FTN.
really good, yeah. Just take the heater gun to it, eliminate some of the stringiness, and it would
That's
look
a good
excellent.
tip, yeah. So he printed it out. He was impressed in how well it came out, and
excellent.
Yeah,
excellent design.
Yeah, he scaled them up, and check out the tutorial if you haven't already. Good stuff.
Very cool.
Shout out to you. Next one, this is from Aiden. Aiden made a 3D printed check valve. So this is really cool.
I really like how he's combining the silicone mold inside of the 3D printed parts.
Yeah. So check out Aiden on YouTube if you haven't already. Subscribe to his channel, throw him a like. So what he did is he stopped the print like around, he tells you what layer, and then you just poke a hole through the cavity, and then you insert the silicone casted from a 3D printed mold, and you embed that in there and let it print through, and then you just pull it through, cut the little excess off, and then you have a check valve. Basically, air only passes one way, so it's kind of like a diode, right? It only flows one direction. So this could be used for all sorts of different things. It's actually pretty useful, and all the details and stuff are outlined in his tutorial video and in the Thingiverse file, so check it out. Shout out to you, Aiden. Always good to see projects from you, sir.
Very good way of combining multi-material.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Cool.
Next up, Barb Makes
There's an
Things.
excellent new YouTube channel coming out.
Yeah. Check this out, guys. Go ahead and subscribe to her. I have her link below. She's doing some awesome projects. Last week, was it last week or 2 weeks ago, she made a video on how to do 3D printed rivets. Very, very awesome. Using like the actual
walkthrough on how to build, using filament, making rivets to make moving parts with 3D printed objects. So
Yeah.
very excellent here.
So this video, I love her style in this particular one. It's a lot like, it reminds me of like she's like the DeRosta of like 3D printing. Yeah, because it's like time lapse and like you hear the little whoop, whoop, whoop sound effects in the background. But this is, she made a mold, a 3D printed NinjaFlex stamp. She designed, or she traced out the emojis inside of Illustrator, brought them into Tinkercad, or 123D Design, extruded them out, did some sketches and cut them up, optimized them for printing, and 3D printed them. But then she made these little sort of, she stamped them onto like transfer paper, she cut them up, and she heated them up to shrink them, and then created these, made these little, you can see here, these little tabs, and then she stringed them together, and she made a little necklace. This is a really fun project. Little emojis are always fun. So yeah, check her out on YouTube. She's making some really great stuff. I really love her style of video. Let's try to get her subscriber count up. It's only at 148, so by the time next week rolls around, come on guys, subscribe. Really, really good channel.
Definitely the type of 3D printing channels we like seeing, where they actually make things instead of, you know, same old as you see in other channels. But this is making with 3D printing, doing a lot of really good crafts.
Custom original stuff. Yeah. Good job, Barb. Definitely love your content. All right. Next one is from Kirby G. Stuff with Kirby. Check out Stuff with Kirby on YouTube. I have a link below again.
Kirby has the Nefertiti on a Lego minifig.
Yeah, he shrunk it down and added the little connector piece, I think, and put it on his low spot. And
to finish it off, he's using a Egyptian minifig body.
Does it walk like an Egyptian? I love the little claws. It just reminds me of the Lego movie so much.
Yeah. If you check out, Kirby has a lot of really cool Raspberry Pi and programming videos combining 3D printing and software. So very cool. Again, excellent YouTube channel that combines all the things that we like.
Let's get his sub count up there too, folks. Come on, check him out. And the last one we'll talk about is from Simon on his YouTube channel, FNTSMN. He made a 3D printed Leona sword, and this thing is awesome. So he's done quite a bit of cosplay, 3D printing cosplay stuff. He has his page linked here somewhere to his My Mini Factory. He's one of the awesome designers at My Mini Factory, and but we're actually working on a collab project where he's going to put some 3D printed stuff or some Adafruit gear inside of a 3D printed cosplay project.
Very awesome. Can't wait for that.
So very glowy and very awesome. But this one was a really nice one. Pretty interesting techniques he goes through, assembling, finishing, some tips on how to sort of make it a lot sturdier using these rods. YouTube's getting slow, but yeah, this is a really good way to how to like cut up something and make it and process it later.
We'll definitely
So
check
good
that out as well.
Yeah, so check out Simon on both YouTube and My Mini Factory.
Really cool.
Good stuff. That's this week's Makes, folks. Everything is linked below, all the YouTube channels. Be sure to subscribe and leave them some love.
And of course, like always, if you guys have some cool links to share, you can email support@adafruit.com or just leave a link in any of the videos.
Yeah,
or hit
we'll
us
check it
up on social media, Instagram.
All right.
And we'll be sure to feature those on the blog or on the show.
Yep. Thank you guys for sharing. Q&A time. Let's talk about some Q&A. We'll just run through them real quick here.
Yeah, remember, if you guys have any questions, you can leave them below in any of the videos, and we'll gather them up for a future episode.
Just rewind it here. Okay, let's check out. The first question is from Eric Forager. I would like to build the Pip-Boy that you designed in a previous episode, but I don't have direct access to a 3D printer, and I don't have experience with them. I do, however, have a friend who has access to an Ultimaker 2 at his job, but he doesn't know much about 3D printing and probably won't be able to watch over the print. What do I need to do to set things up so that he doesn't have to do much other than insert filament, the SD card, and start the print? Or is that even possible? I do have electronics and 3D graphics experience. Yeah, you know what? I mean, it depends. You might run into that, hey, you're going to get your friend in trouble, or you might run into a failed job because you do got to set up supports. You got to set the orientation right, some of the settings and stuff. So you know what? I would recommend checking out, sending it to a local maker at 3dhubs.com. So check out 3dhubs.com. See if there's any local makers in your area that'll do it for you, because they're gonna be experienced. They're gonna know exactly what needs to, how to optimize it here and there, orientation and settings.
That or a local makerspace is probably the easiest thing to do there, because there's always people that are willing to help you out. They're always knowledgeable there and want to get you off the floor, get you interested in actually maybe getting a printer and getting into this to yourself.
There you go.
But
hands-on experience is the best experience.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be quite a bit of work that you're going to have to do, especially since it does take up the whole bed. You are going to have to do some bed leveling on that. So it's definitely not a print you can just
walk away
and go.
from.
Yeah.
There really aren't many prints like that, but yeah. Okay, but that's a good question, and there's some options for you. All right. Next one is from Mike Adams on last week's Hangout. It's been a few months. Are you guys still running 175 filament through your Ultimaker 2 Plus?
Non-stop. I don't think we've used 3mm since we ran out of the first spool. Because we carry nothing but 175mm filament in the store. It's all we've been printing on that. And recently in the last episode, the Hangout, you might have noticed that we were talking about the Teflon tube. I got the 175 Teflon tube for that. And I think I'm actually going to convert it back to the 3mm Teflon tube.
Out?
Yeah, it's not working out as well. I think there might be a cooling issue, but the characteristics of the filament, it's just coming out like blobby and airy. And I know it's not like a moisture problem because I put it in one of the other Ultimakers that I didn't change the Teflon tube, and it came out perfect. So I'm just going to take that out, go back to 3mm.
That's the benefit of having many 3D printers is to really check, is my filament bad? Oh, no, it's not. It's actually something within the extruder.
Yep, so the only thing you have to modify to use 175 is just the feeder on the back. Just make sure that it can tug on the 175mm filament.
I'll also add Matt Griffin is actually working at Ultimaker. I don't know if you guys know, but I don't know if we mentioned it before, but he's working at Ultimaker here in the States. And he is interested in tuning his as well, so we're going to help him out, see if try to get him on 175, and then maybe we'll get some blessing from the Ultimaker folks. We're not kidding you, folks. We're honest and telling you the truth. 175. I have seen the lies. I don't know what to say. Some folks still don't believe us. But yeah, Mike, it's definitely working out, and
quite beautifully. Yeah,
it's weird.
The only thing you got to turn down is the retraction, going from 4.5 just drop it down to 3mm for the retraction length.
And if you haven't already, Mike, check out the the video that we put together. It's got quite a few low views, but check it out if you guys are interested.
And we have a whole learning guide too on the song and dance you have to do when you want to change out the filament. That's the only thing because it expands to the 3mm size Teflon tube.
Just make sure you don't get it stuck.
Yeah, you don't want to get it stuck into the feeder.
Okay. Thanks, Mike. Next one is from Benjamin Ellis 240 for PLA. Isn't that kind of high?
On the Nefertiti planter time-lapse, no, because we are printing at 80mm a second. It's pretty fast. And
it's a 0.35 nozzle. This is the Type A machines, the Winchester style extruder.
Yeah, so it's pretty much like a little needle nose.
It's like a needle
Heats
nose.
Up very fast, cools down very quickly as well. So I actually, for the first one that we printed, we used 230. And because it was a little bit too cool and I'm going so fast, it actually had some skippage. So once I raised up the temperature to 240, it all came out perfect. Yeah. So I don't know if it's, is it the environment that we have in the house here? We always keep it cool.
Yeah, no, I think it's a bit of all that stuff. A lot of variables in there.
Yeah, it's how fast I'm extruding, how fast I'm traveling. It's all that stuff.
If anything, it's too low. You need to go 260.
No.
All right,
240 is just fine.
All right, next one. This one's on the motion-activated LED wristband, the Florida wristband. One of our first projects. What's his name? Jonathan. Sorry. Boza. Any chance of publishing the 3D model of the enclosure in the source format, like the native CAD software that you used?
Yeah, so I originally designed this inside of Maya before we used any solid modeling software.
This is a polygon model.
This is all polygons, or mesh modeling here. So I can release the .ma or .mb file if you'd like. I'll put it up on Thingiverse, but we have the new circuit board coming out pretty soon, so we're probably going to update this because it has everything all of that already built into one circuit board, so that's going to be awesome.
Plus piezo, so you have the Mario thing.
That's going to be pretty awesome.
That's going to be fun.
So we're going to redo this entire project, fewer components, all in
cheaper.
Edible.
It's cheaper, more affordable.
Yeah, so we are going to get to this project.
Okay, but
it's going to be epic.
Check out the links and stuff. We'll make sure that the MA or MB file's up there. Yep. Thanks for the question. Danny Corona is asking on the Super Gamepad project, does anyone have an Amazon link for the screws needed?
So we usually link to all of the screws that we use on learn.adafruit.com. Just check out the guide for this. It's almost always on the very first page, the overview page. If you scroll down to where the part section is, we always link where to get the screws. I think actually we got these from Albany Fastener.
Yeah, albanycountyfasteners.com. Check them out. Good place to get screws in bulk. All right, next question is from Jacob McAllister on the Touch Pi. Can this be used for Raspberry Pi emulation station setup for games, or is this just for a mini tablet? No, it's totally, you can totally use like the Pi Girl 2 image, and it should work. Yeah, I think you just have to update one little line where it tells you what the screen resolution is. Just change that to 320 by 480, because right now it's built for the 2.8. So just a little bit of code edit, but yeah. It's
not
totally
too bad.
Yeah,
that's a very awesome little game station.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Next one is from T4G Media on the 10-inch Raspberry Pi. Hi, Adafruit, do you sell the 3D printed case for the touchscreen? I don't have a 3D printer, and I hope to get one day. Yeah.
I would definitely recommend saving up. And just get that printer. It's definitely going to be cheaper than going to 3D hubs.
Yeah.
These parts do take quite some time to print.
This is a 10-inch case. You might want to cut it up.
Even the 7-inch one takes quite a while, like 4 hours plus, if you want to get a good quality print out of that. And this is like printing at the fastest that you can print on any of the printers. This is why we don't sell cases. They take 4 hours plus to print.
Good for one-offs, not good for yield in mass production.
At all. Yeah. We might be a little disingenuous and not showing all the fails that happen, but it
can happen.
Nothing comes out good the first time.
Yeah.
It takes like
it's winning the lottery, the maker lottery when you print it one time.
To have a successful
print. It's rare,
print,
but it can happen.
It takes a long time. So
but
that's why we don't sell.
I would recommend checking out 3D Hubs. How many times have I said that, Pedro? Go to 3dhubs.com.
No, buy your own printer so you can see exactly why printing services really isn't that much profitable.
So Raspberry Pi 2 Pi Girl 2. Can this work with the Pi 3? You know what? It'll fit in the case, but you're gonna have to recompile some stuff. You can start off with the Retro Pi. The latest Retro Pi does work with Pi 3. You might have to
recompile everything.
Yeah. So it's gonna do a little bit of stuff there. We gotta actually start redoing a lot of stuff too. So that's what always happens.
Yep. But, everything's being updated as we speak, so it's just going to take a little bit of time. It's always the software that has to catch up with all the new hardware. So soon.
John Paul Hopman is asking, were there some ads in the bottom corner of Simplify 3D?
Probably it was just a website in the background.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
Nope.
Next one. This was on the 3D printed gamepad. This one here that we talked about earlier. Is every button independent, or does it stop when you press multiple buttons at the same time? No, that's the really cool thing about this, is that you can press up to 10 buttons at the same time, and they're actually really, really fast for Bluetooth. It's almost near instant. I think it's like 20 to 30 milliseconds. So it worked really well for my my arcade button guitar that I made, the guitar. That thing is awesome. It works really well, really fast.
Yeah, so excellent for making instruments.
Yeah, good stuff. Next one is from Hanzor. Hey, would you ever consider taking payment for your 3D printing services? No, we're not interested in doing that.
Yep, just like we said before, the real money comes in all these little circuit boards that live inside of it.
Yeah, we don't have time to do it, man. We're going to make these projects.
Too long, yeah.
But there's other folks out there to do it, so check it out. 3D Hubs. Dingy Thingy on Tony DeCola's video, his Pi 3 emulator testing. This was a really fun stream, if you haven't seen it already. Great demonstration. I've been waiting to see someone really show off the Retro Pi on the new Pi. Will you guys be making a new Pi Girl for the Raspberry Pi 3? Yeah. I mean, we'll try to make a new image, but I think the hardware is going to work the same because it's the same mounting holes and everything. Yep. Next one is from Jan Hugo. Sorry. Can you contribute to can you contrive to the toy RepRap printer? Oh, check this out. Yeah, it's on the blog. I shared it on the blog. This is a really cool 3D printed like mini. You've seen like the mini fabricator. This thing's a mini thing. Very cool project.
Very awesome.
All right, well that's all the questions that we got this week, folks. You know how to ask them. Go to the YouTubes and check them out. That's gonna be it for the show, though. Again, we got the coupon code Barn Doors.
You can get 10% off any of the 3D printers, filament, and of course the very awesome circuit boards that bring all the 3D printing projects to life.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Learning. Oh, the Adafruit learning system. Do you want to show that off real quick?
Yeah. So not too long ago, on Tuesday, the Cooper brothers, which if you don't know, those are the guys that actually built Thingiverse.
Yeah, with Marty too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
check out.
They're the ones that build
the Adafruit learning system.
That build not only that, but Adafruit IO.
Yeah, they built
so the Internet
Todd,
of Things. Yeah. They released a brand new look to learn.adafruit.com. Check it out. It's
yeah, so
where
things
all
are
of our
broken.
Step-by-step tutorials live.
Yeah. Here's the barn doors this week's project. Yeah, it's pretty neat. It's nice and clean. A lot more, a little bit bigger, I think. Yeah.
Very awesome.
So if you find anything, you know, we're still working on things here and there, I think. Right?
Yep, should have been all nicely updated by now. But
okay,
yeah.
cool.
Again, check learn.adafruit.com if
Yep.
you have any questions on any of the project builds. Thorough, detailed, beautiful photos.
Yeah.
Ginormous 5,000K images.
Check out all the every Adafruit shows. We got the show and tell where you folks can come on the show and share off what you're working on, your makerspace, or anything you want to share with us.
It's on Google Plus, so definitely check it out if you want to share your projects.
Yep, and then shortly after that, that was on the Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. 8 p.m., Ask an Engineer with Lamar and Phil, live on YouTube and Twitch and Periscope and Meerkat. Yeah.
And in 360 now
360 is going to happen too. Yeah, it's already happening. So that one's on at 8 p.m. Open source Arduino, Raspberry Pi are new products. New.
Preview of all the brand new circuit boards that Lamar's working on.
Tony DeCola, I think it happens every Friday and Saturday, something like that, right? Sometime Monday, he did last one on Monday.
Yeah, if you want to check out his last stream, it was on testing out all the new emulation.
Yeah, emulators. On Emulation Station with the Raspberry Pi 3.
So he
check
goes
out the performances, yeah. He
plays
played a lot of
bunch
stuff.
of the games if you want to check that out.
Oh man, I want to get that PSP working, man. That thing's so cool. So check it out. He's on Twitch exclusively live, and then later he uploads it to YouTube. So check him out. Got the green screen and the Matrix.
Follow us on Twitch. You can ask him questions.
Good stuff. Yep.
And he does a lot of deep dive coding.
That's right. Lady Ada from the desk of Lady Ada. Hashtag from the desk of Lady Ada. It's on like it happened
sporadically
as we were doing the show. Like it happened.
Yeah.
So it's happening all the time.
Every other day. Super cool if you want to check in on Lamar and Phil, see what they're all up to.
Yeah. Very, very awesome stuff. Okay, well, that's going to be it for the show, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week. But until then, remember, keep on making and all that good stuff.
See you guys next week.
Bye.